A project dubbed Strengthening the Capacity of 30 Girls and Young Women as Champions of Menstrual Hygiene Management and Producers of Dorena Pads has been executed in Bamenda, Northwest Region of Cameroon. Realized by Ngafor Foundation for 2 days, precisely 25th to 26th September 2021, participants gained theoretical and practical knowledge on menstrual hygiene management, at the end of which they resolved to lobby for the implementation of a menstrual hygiene policy, mostly in schools, churches, and public places.
We are building bridges for proper menstrual hygiene management. So far, we had a target to send information across and to teach and train 30 girls on menstrual hygiene management and production of reusable pads, Dorena pads as we call them. We so far just began the project with this first phase, and we've had to train the girls who met the objectives that we had, which were to debunk the taboos and the myths that are related to menstruation, as well as to get the young girls to engage stakeholders in their various workplaces, churches, schools, to create menstrual hygiene-friendly environments for menstruating girls. And finally, we equally had the objective to teach them how to produce their own reusable pads.
Though being a natural occurrence in all girls and women, indicating maturity and readiness for childbirth, several myths and taboos still surround the subject. In other instances, coded words like mbra, period, flower, monthly salary are used to describe the process, which obviously shouldn't be the case, reason why attendees were educated on the need to call a spade so that young girls, for example, don't grow up with a wrong perception about menstruation, the penis, vagina, and sexual reproduction in general. Before drawing the curtains on day one of the workshop, participants were engaged into practical lessons on how to produce reusable pads, beginning with measurement and cutting, at the end of which they confessed about the enriching nature of the training.
Keeping the taboos and myths are very wrong. We should learn to live freely with our situation because it's natural.
I've learned the importance of reusable pads and I've equally learned how to keep them.
I've also learned about reusable pads, its importance, how we can get to make them, how we can cut them out, and also how we can take care of them by putting it in bags and storing it in a safe place to avoid contaminations.
We should not use coded words to describe menstruation. We should always use the right word to describe it.
I've learned that in order for you to be comfortable in the society with menstruation, you need to first of all accept yourself and accept the fact that you menstruate.
I've learned how I can handle myself when I'm surprised with menstruation.
I've learned that women are to be empowered in such a way that they'll not go out, they'll not go extra miles to collect money to buy sanitary pads. And then I've also learned how to cut out the tensors of the pads.
I've learned on how to cut the reusable pads, how to use them, and the importance of reusable pads.
I've learned how to use the reusable pad and wash it.
I've learned that in our various institutions and various workplaces, we can still make a situation where women will be comfortable, no matter if they are at work or at church. We can still make a situation where they can be comfortable by providing the various things they need for their menstrual management.
I've learned how to work hard, and I will not depend on anybody to buy me.
I've learned how to produce the reusable pads, and I've seen that it's less expensive than the one we always buy. So I think it's a very good idea.
The practical lessons were intensified on day 2 as each participant was provided a toolbox containing all the necessary items required for the fabrication of reusable parts like scissors, thread, needle, towel, and others. For hours, they were guided on how to go about the proper measurement, cutting, placement, and sewing exercise. This was the high point of the two-day workshop coordinated by 3 main facilitators, at the end of which each participant successfully produced a Dorena part. In evaluating the impact of the two-day come-together so that the organizer can better plan on subsequent similar workshops, some of the participants said,
I've always wanted to learn how to know how to stitch it. I've learned a lot, but then it was very lengthy. You discover that we are spending all of our time here. It was very important for us to learn this time, but it was very lengthy, and of course you came in with jokes and songs for us to relax a bit. There are so many girls in the quarter who used these pieces of loin. Yeah, so I'll really go and help them to teach them what I've learned, rather, so that they'll also be able to do these reusable parts themselves. I just need to get the materials and then I help them too.
I've actually attended workshops that had to do with menstrual hygiene management, but I've never been taught on how to produce reusable pads. And even if some were given to us, we're not shown how to go about it. So through this workshop, I've learned how to produce reusable pads by myself.
I've never attended a workshop before, so me attending this one makes me feel happy. And the things I also learned, they are really of great help. Like what Mama said, she really inspired me on woman being empowered in order to provide for her needs. And then with the parts too, I love the parts and I really wanted to know more about it and to be able to do it. I'll go back to my community, help the young girls to teach them what I've learned. I started yesterday to enlighten them on what I learned yesterday.
At the close of the seminar, some participants were handed menstrual hygiene management kits that shall be used in various hubs expected to be formed in their communities for the fabrication of Dorena pads.
So far, it has been a success because we've had these girls come here for 2 days, the 2 days training session. The first day, which we did a lot of talking on menstrual hygiene management, and then the second day, which we trained them on how to produce the Dorena pads. And they did that successfully. They were so happy. They've gone home with their parts, and they have taken an engagement to equally engage other girls within their communities. That equally led to creating more sewing hubs within the communities with some of the girls selected. So they'll take that information back to their various communities, teach the girls, and equally train them on parts production with the materials that has been offered to them.
Wow.